Here's something that I've noticed about solopreneurs. You're actually really good project managers. And I know you might not call it that, but your client work gets done, deadlines get met, and you've probably got some version of a color-coded spreadsheet or at least a project management tool that keeps everything humming. But then there's your own marketing, which lives somewhere between your notes app, your brain, and something like Asana or Notion. It happens when you have spare time, which, let's be honest, there never is, and gets bumped the second a client emails you. And it's mostly driven by, I really should post something vibes. And here's the thing. Everything that you already know about running a client project applies perfectly to your own marketing. You just haven't treated your own marketing like a real project yet. Hi, I'm Tayler, a small business marketing consultant and one of the co-founders of Enji, which is the only project management tool that brings planning and doing your marketing together. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how to project manage your own marketing. So let's start with the reason that your marketing never quite gets over the finish line, because it might not be what you think. Because marketing, unlike client work, has no built-in consequences, at least negative ones. Because client work has external deadlines, it has contracts, and a real human on the other side of things that will absolutely notice if you disappear and who also won't pay you. Your marketing has none of that. There's no one asking, where is this post? There's no invoice attached to it. And there is zero immediate penalty if you skip your marketing for today. So when your brain is triaging your to-do list, of course it chooses the thing that pays right now over the thing that pays later. So marketing becomes the perpetual important but not urgent thing that's always gonna lose. And the fix here isn't to try harder or to feel more motivated. It's to project manage it better. And you already know how to do that. So here is the mental shift that's going to help make this click. I want you to treat your own business like a client project. Seriously. Imagine your business is paying you to handle its marketing, because it is, actually, just in like a delayed, indirect way. And if that were true, you wouldn't ghost that client. You wouldn't let their work sit in your Asana account for 3 weeks, and you'd create a plan, you'd define a scope, and you would protect the time to get it done. So let's do exactly that. And here are 6 steps that I recommend to help. So step 1, define your plan. And do more marketing is not a plan. We need to get specific about what do more marketing actually means and what it doesn't. And the goal is not to build some fantasy version of your marketing life. It's to build a realistic one that will fit the actual amount of time that you have. So ask yourself, if I could only show up in 2 or 3 places consistently, which ones would move the needle for my small business? Maybe that's a weekly email and 2 LinkedIn posts every week and 1 blog post a month. Now, sanity check that against your real calendar, not the if I woke up at 5 a.m., I could get this done one. And if the answer that you've got is, I have 2 hours a week to work on my marketing, then posting daily on social media, plus a podcast and a weekly newsletter is just a recipe for burnout. So trim your plan down until it feels maybe challenging, but definitely doable. Then I want you to write it out and write it down like a client proposal. For Q2, I'm going to publish 1 blog post a month, 1 email newsletter every week, and get 2 Instagram posts out the door each week. That is your commitment to yourself and your business. Now, step 2, I want you to break your marketing into real tasks. Because you already do this for your client projects. You don't just write launch website down on your to-do list. You are like, I need to gather all the content. I need to write all the copy. I need to build the page. I need to design the mockups before that. I need to review it all, revise it, and launch it, right? Like it's a whole thing. And your marketing deserves the same treatment. So take one thing from your plan, like let's say your monthly blog post, and break it into the tasks that are small enough for you to actually complete when you sit down to do them. Like, I need to choose a topic. I need to research SEO keywords. I need to write an outline, draft it, edit it, add images, schedule it, share it, right? However you decide to break it down, The work that you are breaking apart should also get a date so that you can open your laptop and just start doing the work instead of needing to figure out how you're supposed to get started. Now, step 3, I really encourage you to build repeatable workflows because most of your marketing follows a pattern, whether you realize it or not. Blog posts kind of have a similar way that you're going to go about it. Same with creating social media content. Same with getting email newsletters out. And once you understand the pattern and map it out, you can stop reinventing the wheel every time you sit down to create something. And a very simple 5-step framework around this that works really well is plan, outline, draft, review, and schedule. That's it. So you can write something like that checklist down for every content type that you're creating, and you've just saved yourself a ton of mental energy every single time. This is also where having a dedicated marketing tool actually earns its keep. Because instead of your to-dos living in one place and your content in another and your analytics over here, a tool like Enji pulls it all into one place so that your workflows to get things done live in the exact same place as where those things are getting planned. Step 4, schedule the work, not just the publish dates. And this is the one that trips up a lot of solopreneurs because you've got a content calendar and it shows you when things go live, but there's no plan for when you're actually going to do the thing. So a blog post supposing to publish on the 30th is useless unless you've blocked time on, let's say, the 20th to actually write it. So treat your marketing tasks kind of like client milestones. They get time on the calendar, and you need to decide when your marketing time is going to live within each week. So maybe it's 2 hours every Tuesday morning and then another hour on Thursday afternoon. And then you can start assigning specific tasks in those blocks. So when Tuesday rolls around, you shouldn't be asking, what should I work on today? You should be opening your calendar and seeing, today I'm going to outline a blog post and draft 2 LinkedIn posts, right? Done. No thinking required. And step 5, I want you to do a weekly check-in, even if it's just a teeny tiny one. Because once a week, I would love for you to give your marketing 5 to 10 minutes of what I call CMO time, Chief Marketing Officer time. Now, this is not a deep strategy session. It's just asking yourself some simple questions. What did I plan to do last week? Did it actually get done? What potentially needs to adjust for this week and next? That's it. Scan for anything that was overdue. Check if there are busy client weeks coming up where you should lighten the load and make adjustments to your marketing calendar, and then get back to your day. And solopreneurs who are consistent with their marketing aren't doing twice as much marketing. They're just touching their marketing a little bit and a little more often. And this weekly pulse check is what turns marketing from this big monthly thing into a normal part of how you run your business. And step number 6, do a monthly review. So once a month, zoom out on your marketing for 30 minutes. Look at what you published, what performed well, what you completed, right? All of this stuff. And what I want you to look for are patterns, because patterns matter more than just one-off wins. So if LinkedIn has a pattern of consistently getting more engagement than, let's say, Instagram, maybe you should be focusing on LinkedIn, right? Or if you have a pattern of record your podcast, and it's been a pattern for 4 weeks in a row, that is also a sign that maybe you should drop it for now. And you can use this time to also refine your plan. Cut what marketing isn't working, double down on the marketing that is, and over time, this is how things get more realistic, more sustainable, and more effective. Because you're not just chasing random marketing ideas, you're actually iterating on things that are working because you have real feedback. Now look, you don't need to become a marketing person to do this well. You already are, like I said, a really good project manager. You just haven't applied the skill to yourself yet. And the moment that you start treating your own marketing like a client project with a plan and real tasks and scheduled time and regular reviews, consistency stops being this mysterious trait that other people have when it comes to their marketing. It becomes a predictable output because you have a system that you've built. And if you want a tool that is specifically built for this kind of marketing project management for solopreneurs and isn't just like a generic set of to-do lists and a blank workspace, Enji is definitely worth trying. And the free trial link is linked below.